Speaking of not having titles, Ubisoft Forward happened.
Uh-oh.
This was 2 days ago. And they showed off a lot of stuff. I mean, they showed off some Mario and Rabbids, some Skull and Bones. But the big thing here is Assassin's Creed. I'm going to say that again because my throat did a weird noise. But the big thing here is Assassin's Creed. Now, Assassin's Creed Infinity was the name of the live service idea that I don't know if it was leaked or officially announced or what, that we've been sort of known about for, I don't know, it feels like a year at this point, right? And it's been one of those things, one of those big topics of conversations about should Assassin's Creed go to a live service model? What does that even look like? That's not what anyone wants, it feels like. Well, they gave some clarification that Assassin's Creed Infinity is going to be a portal that opens you up into different smaller Assassin's Creed stories. So it'll be curious to see what how big those games are. I imagine that if they are going to sell Assassin's Creed Valhalla and put it in Assassin's Creed Infinity, that would be just a weird move. You know what I mean? Just sell that as a separate game. But if these are smaller experiences, more just if they're smaller experiences, a fraction of the size of something like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, I could actually kind of see myself being into that, because the first thing they showed off is Assassin's Creed Red. It's just a code name, and it is their feudal Japan Assassin's Creed game that we've all sort of been waiting for forever. What do you think? How do you take this first little piece of news?
I think of this the DLC that they released right now with the Assassin's Creed games. I think there has to be a very consistent outpouring of content for me to stick with it. I mean, if these games are a 15, 20-hour game, that's one thing. If they're shorter 4 or 5 hour experiences, it's going to be hard for me to get jazzed about that consistently unless the games are immaculate. And I don't know if they're going to be immaculate. You know what I mean? I don't get those vibes from it. I mean, it might be cool, but I cannot think of an Assassin's Creed game that I played that it's oh my God, every minute of this story is keeping me going. I really got into Odyssey and Origins because of the gameplay, because of the world, because of the Platinum Trophy. This, though, I don't know. I mean, that doesn't excite me as much as it would if it was here's a full game that's coming out at a normal release schedule instead of this Infinity, which just seems extra to me.
To me, it feels like if they are going to, it feels like Assassin's Creed it's a major misstep whenever they try to go bigger and better. That's just me. I don't want a huge game. I want a well-crafted game, right? We've talked about this, with stuff like Starfield, right? When they were over 1,000 planets. That are handcrafted. Was it 1,000 or was it 100? Both of those are so stupid numbers to say. Was it 1,000?
I thought it was 1,000 because 100 seems you could hire a person to do that.
Right. You could
1,000 just seems a little bit okay, you've wasted everyone's time.
Right. So the bigger and better thing just is such a big turnoff for me. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that, how long to beat? I imagine it's 70 hours. No thanks. Same thing with, I imagine, Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Origins and all that sort of stuff. So if they're saying we're going back to a smaller scope, making these worlds a little bit more handcrafted, to me, that's more what I'm about. But you would have to carry it, right? Like you're saying, the writing in these games is never super awesome. So you're going to have to you have to have something else to sell it if you're doing a smaller experience like that.
Exactly, because I think for me, Assassin's Creed isn't interesting because of this elaborate story that's been going on for all these games. And in fact, that's always I prefer when it's the background, right? I just want to get back to my pirate ship. I want to get back to my God, Niflheim realm, wherever I am or whatever I'm doing and stuff like that. But I agree with you. I think part of the reason why I've played those Assassin's Creed games so long is just because it's easy to get mind off, play those games. And if it was a more intentional open world action RPG game that had a better story that really gets you going, which I think Odyssey does have moments of really strong storytelling to it. I think if they can cut it down to a good well-crafted gameplay story with good stealth missions and good meaningful story beats that feel earned, and it's not just like, I guess I'm fighting Caesar now for whatever reason.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe that's good, but you add that, and then you add this infinity thing. It just seems to me like they're trying to reinvent the wheel when I don't know if that's what we need to be reinvented.
A 100%, like the right thing to have done is just not do this. is to just make the games good. You know what I mean? Like to just say like, no, we're confident in restructuring the way we develop these games. But I guess, I don't know. This, at least to me, it doesn't turn me off, but it doesn't like make me super like down for all of this.
Yeah, exactly.
I will also say the story for Assassin's Creed 2, I think, is really good. That's the only one that I think has like great stuff in it. The rest of them are like, the game, the mechanics and stuff are the selling points and the settings and all that. So Assassin's Creed Infinity is, the like app, the portal, whatever you want to call it. And it's going to start with Assassin's Creed Red, which is the code name for it, which is the feudal Japan one. And then they are also doing Assassin's Creed Hex, which is, it seems like based on the teaser, like it might have something to do with like witchcraft or that sort of stuff, which I guess kind of makes sense because they've been dipping into magic stuff, especially with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, with those like, I'm forgetting what they were called, but they were just like little little shrines for like dark magic and stuff that
some
you
of
went
the coolest
and
parts and hardest fights in that game.
Yeah. So they really didn't say much about that, but they just said it's going to be something kind of new for Assassin's Creed. So I can get down with that. The other big thing that they did, they also like announced some like mobile stuff and like a Netflix series and I think a Netflix game as well.
Yeah, I think they announced that there's like a Netflix only streaming mobile version of a game.
Was that what it was?
They're coming out with. Yeah, so I don't know what that game is going to be like, but hey, I mean, the fact that I already have Netflix, hopefully this just makes one less barrier for me to play a new and cool game.
Yeah, agreed. But the other big thing here is that Assassin's Creed Mirage, which is set in Baghdad, which is also like right before, like about, what is this? 20 years before the events of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. That's what we were talking about last week a little bit, and you play as Basim, who was in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and it's more, they said it is going to be like a more modernized version of the original ideas in like Assassin's Creed 1, which I'm kind of into. I really like Assassin's Creed 1. I know that it probably hasn't aged like that well, but I still do like it. And so this does me right